Purina Cat Chow has been helping cats feel at home with trusted nutrition. No wonder it's the #1 dry cat food in America. Come home to Cat Chow.
Challenge accepted.
New Colbert tonight on CBS.
CBS next Tuesday.
A fugitive could be inside.
She's armed, dangerous, and has hostages.
I want to see the faces of the people who killed my son.
FBI!
CBS Tuesday is FBI night.
Like a Wild West shootout in here.
New episodes next Tuesday. All new CBS Spring on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
Holy wah! Up your spinach intake and rev up those snowblowers. A winter storm is a-brewing, and I've got the details for you. Live from downtown Marquette, it's your 19 News.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sarah Blakely. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, a snowstorm is here, probably the biggest of the season yet. We have you covered with how long these alerts will last and some tips before you hit the road tomorrow morning or not. Plus, Delta County's Veteran Service Officer is asking for extra hands. Tonight, why it's going on the ballot for a vote this November. And 2 Southern UP real estate companies are joining forces. We'll tell you about the new acquisition. Your 19 News starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 11.
I think the big thing for tonight, aside from the snow air, is the wind. I mean, it's just whipping out there.
Check this out. This is our live cam down there in Escanaba on Ludington Street, and it is shaky. Hopefully it's not an earthquake, and it's just those wind gusts kicking up, and we'll expect that into our Wednesday as well as Thursday. Here's a look at current conditions with snow, and Escanaba seeing a little bit of mixture of rain and snow, and we're going to whip right around and see what's going on with our blizzard warning. This goes this evening until 8 p.m. on Wednesday for Baraga and Marquette counties. 8 to 27 inches, that's right, 27 inches are possible. Most of it in the Huron Mountains there and going down into Negaunee. And again, those winds are going to be 45 to 50 miles an hour. Winter storm warnings pretty much for everybody. These snow totals are expected snow totals will be posted on our website, WZMQ19.com. And as you can see, things are updating at the moment thanks to the National Weather Service, but I will be sure to keep you updated with those details after the break.
Thanks, Air. Police are urging people to stay home if you can tomorrow. Marquette County Sheriff Greg Zybert says the best way to stay safe is to just stay off the roads. He says if you do go out, of course, slow down, don't crowd the plow, and don't stop in the road during whiteout conditions. You should also bring extra clothes or blankets to keep in your car. And of course, if you do find yourself in an emergency or in a ditch, call 911 and stay in your vehicle.
The authorities know that you are involved in an accident or you're off the road and you need some assistance, and there may be a little bit of a wait, you know, because there are a lot of things going on in a storm like that, but eventually they will get out to you.
Sheriff Zybert says there will be additional officers on patrol tomorrow to help any motorists who may find themselves in some trouble. With these high winds tonight, some communities across the UP are already experiencing power outages, thousands across the UP. Here's the current numbers tonight as of about 10:50 Eastern time. These numbers, though, are changing by the minute. UPCO is currently reporting about 220 outages. The Alger Delta Co-op just over 1,700. The Marquette BLP currently has 0 outages, but just about an hour ago it was about 2,300, primarily in that Harvey area, but it looks like power has been restored there. Cloverland Electric out in the eastern UP, over 6,000 outages, and We Energies, which does have a couple of areas in the UP, is only experiencing 6 outages. We have links to all of those outage maps right now at WZMQ19.com. New at 11, Delta County's Veteran Service Officer is asking for more resources to support local veterans. As WZMQ's Escanaba Bureau reporter Lily Simmons tells us, it's now in the hands of voters this fall.
I am here today advocating for our county veterans with the best option that I believe will make the most impact on their lives and the county as a whole.
On Tuesday, the Veteran Service Officer told the Board of Commissioners that while the county's veteran population fluctuates from year to year, more vets need support than ever.
Because of all the new laws that are constantly changing, the need is growing.
And he says serving the second largest veteran population in the UP is a major task for just one Veteran Service Officer.
A lot of counties have more than one VSO, even though they have less veterans. Those counties made a decision to place a certain level of importance on providing support for the veterans who live in our county.
He proposed an initiative for the November 2024 ballot, establishing 1/10 of a mil for the Veterans Relief Fund and VSO services. All 5 commissioners spoke in favor of supporting the VSO, but debated the likelihood of a millage passing with others on the horizon for cities like Gladstone.
The schools just requested millage. The city is requesting 4.4 mils. Why can't our administrator come up with a budget like you do with all the other departments and see if it's already in our general fund to support that?
It came down to the question on if the general fund supports this, where are you going to cut it from? Because we're balancing right now.
But the board chairman expressed his faith in Delta County voters to pass the millage.
My prediction is you will be overwhelmingly supported by the taxpayers of this county because they are overwhelmingly patriotic and understand the value of the services that you have provided.
With the addition of a 10-year period for the millage, the board voted unanimously to move it forward to the voters in November. Lily Simmons, WZMQ 19 News, Escanaba.
Meanwhile, 3 Delta County commissioners face a recall election on May 7th. The Delta County League of Women Voters is encouraging people to get to know the candidates. The league will host a candidate forum on Tuesday, April 23rd at 7 p.m. Because of the size of the venue, the forum is closed to the public, but it will be live streamed on multiple platforms. The League of Women Voters says it's critical for voters to know the positions of the candidates in their district.
Educated voter is a smart voter. I think you can't just look at an R or a D. People really need to listen to them respond, see what words they're choosing, what are they answering, what are they skirting around, and decide for yourself who's the best choice.
WZMQ 19 will provide coverage of that forum, and you can visit our website for ways to watch and submit questions to the candidates. Congressman Jack Bergman is urging the USPS to consider the broader impact of its plans to make changes to the mail distribution facility in Kingsford. Following a heated public meeting about the topic last night, a USPS spokesperson assured the public the Kingsford facility would remain open. However, some union workers expressed concern about the potential of job transfers to Green Bay, which the USPS denied. Others expressed concern about drinking water testing and the turnaround time for getting results if mail is processed through Green Bay.
Service. This is not a business. Do you have to run it kind of like a business? Sure. You cannot waste time. You cannot waste money or resources. And we understand that. But in the end, you still have to provide the public service.
The Postal Service hasn't given a timeline as to when it will release the review findings, but says it will communicate that in the coming months. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg says some trains are operated with just 1 crew member on board, and some of those trains can be as long as 3 miles. But after several train derailments, including the Norfolk Southern East Palestine derailment last February, the DOT is making a big rule change aiming to improve rail safety. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp has the report.
Last year, I visited East Palestine in Ohio to meet community members and see the site of that Norfolk Southern derailment firsthand.
The Norfolk Southern train derailment in East Palestine caused chaos in local communities in Pennsylvania and Ohio for weeks. It prompted evacuations, caused concerns on the health and safety of community members, the environment, and first responders following that crash. In an effort to improve rail safety, the DOT announced rule changes on train crew sizes, now requiring at least a second crew member on freight and passenger trains.
A second crew member is vital to performing safety functions like securing a train with handbrakes, handling track switches that are not remotely controlled, obtaining track authorities, assisting in emergencies, and much more.
The Association of American Railroads is pushing back on the new rule, calling it an unfounded and unnecessary regulation that has no proven connection to rail safety. But supporters of the new rule say otherwise.
For the Rail Association people, the lobbyists, who it hasn't dawned on yet that a two-person crew is safer. I would urge them to get out from behind their laptops and ride on the head end of a train in the cab of a locomotive. The work that a two-person crew performs is critical. I did it for 18 years in the cab of a locomotive before I came to Washington. I know it's safer.
Secretary Pete Buttigieg says this won't solve all train-related issues, but it's a start.
So we're going to keep pushing together on what we know that we can achieve from within this building. We're going to keep pushing industry to make the changes that they could make today if they were willing. And we are going to keep pressing Congress to pass the Railway Safety Act.
In Washington, Rachel Knapp, WZMQ 19 News.
The Railway Safety Act that the Secretary just mentioned has bipartisan support. And just to note, the Norfolk Southern train in East Palestine had 3 crew members on board when it derailed. Your first warning weather forecast is coming up after this break. Plus, preparing for Monday's solar eclipse. How to spot counterfeit eclipse glasses so you don't risk damaging your eyes. And the annual salamander migration at Marquette's Presque Isle Park is underway. We check in with the team that's documenting their travels. We're back in 2 minutes.
"19 News is brought to you by Kirkish Furniture.
The wait is over. England Furniture's quick shipping is back at Kirkish Furniture. Choose your style and fabric and receive your furniture in as little as 30 days. Browse our in-stock selection or let our staff help you customize the perfect sofa or chair. Plus, 1 year free financing and free delivery.
With style and class, MeTV's Perry Mason represented the sleek 50s fashion, distinctive and suave. The truth never goes out of style on Perry Mason.
Weekdays at 9 a.m. and 11:30 p.m. First warning weather with Arian Stasic. Weeknights at 6 and 11 on WZMQ 19 News.
John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to get their car fixed. That's because at John's Auto, communication is the key to service. When we have your car, you can expect to be updated on what's going on. And Craig here will explain repairs in terms I even understand, and I'm only 9. For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Marquette.
And don't forget, we're still your #1 source for a pre-owned vehicle in Marquette County.
John's Auto Marquette.
Need to get from point A to point B quickly, efficiently, safely? The Marquette County Transit Authority is your ticket to ride. Friendly drivers operate clean, blue and white buses throughout Marquette County 365 days a year. Seniors 60 plus ride free every Wednesday. For information about routes and tickets, click on marktran.com. We keep you moving. Marquette Transit.
Wait a second. You're saying I'm not invincible? So you can see me right now?
New tonight on CBS. This is home for CBS, WZMQ 19.
WZMQ 19 News First Warning Weather with Ariane Stasic.
Well, here we go. Rain and snow moving in. It's going to be a mess, sloppy and slushy, as we've got wet, heavy snow. Houghton, heads up. It's headed your way a little bit after midnight, as well as Calumet. A little less snow up there than the rest of us, but this winter storm, my goodness, we've got very blustery winds, 45 to 50 miles an hour. And of course, the biggest gusts are going to be along the Great Lakes, especially near Alger County, 50 miles an hour. And then you can expect possible power outages. We've already seen some of those this evening. Hopefully you've got all of your supplies. And friends, if you have trouble shoveling snow, make sure you ask somebody for help because we've got a blizzard warning here for Berga and Marquette counties, 8 to 12 inches, and that goes into our Wednesday evening for now. That could also change. As we saw some changes earlier, we're expecting now 8 to 15 inches in Alger County. This goes until 2 a.m. on Thursday. So a lot of heavy snow expected, especially in those higher terrain areas. And then over Over to the east, we've got 1 to 4 inches expected for the northeast corner of Chippewa and Mackinac counties, and then about 3 to 7 on the west side of that, but still blustery winds. And then, of course, Lake Superior, we've got some winter storms on Lake Superior, as well as lakeshore flood advisories along that Superior coastline there. So expect some water on low-lying roads and properties. Remember, do not drive through flood water. Turn around, don't drown. All right, taking a look at our Wednesday afternoon, we'll have a little bit of that snow, and if you see these darker areas here, that's the heavier accumulations moving in there, and then that mix primarily staying over there in the east. By Thursday, we'll slow down a little bit. Finally, we can breathe, and believe it or not, we've got sunshine on the way. That's expected on our Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But before that, Ishpeming, let's focus on you, because when all is said and done, you could be seeing 36.8 inches of snow, but that's by Thursday afternoon. Heaviest snow coming on Wednesday morning, 8 a.m. We're expecting about 10.2 inches. Around 2 p.m., a total of their 7.4 inches. Y'all are going to be a little bit busy, especially if you're in the snowplow game. By 9 a.m., about 3.6 here for Marquette, and then here is that heavier accumulations there in the Huron Mountains, as well as Ishpeming and Negaunee. We've got some very blustery winds this evening. Snow accumulations at the moment are fairly low, especially over there in Ironwood, but I will go over those wind outlooks coming up in about 15 minutes. But blizzard warning here in Marquette, where we could see 5 to 8 inches during our daytime.
Thanks, Erin. Yeah, we aren't the only ones seeing some extreme weather right now. Residents of several states, including West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, are in recovery mode after severe spring weather brought dangerous winds and rain. Danya Backus has the details.
A severe storm ripped through Kentucky, tearing off roofs, flipping cars, and knocking out power. Governor Andy Beshear issued a state of emergency after the suspected tornado activity.
Extremely lucky that nobody got hurt in this.
Officials say this truck in a mall parking lot was blown over and came crashing down on its side.
So the wind come through here and blew it over a good 25 feet.
Heavy winds, rain, and downed power lines stalled traffic on I-75, forcing drivers to take extra care.
Slow down, turn your emergency lights on, make sure, you keep a distance from other vehicles.
In West Virginia's capital, Charleston, a passing storm damaged buildings and forced baseball players to seek shelter. This giant billboard toppled, landing on a car as the storm swept through the area. On Monday in Oklahoma, a possible tornado leveled homes and buildings.
This literally took 15 seconds.
Ohio Governor Mike DeWine urged caution amid extreme weather warnings.
Very, very dangerous situation. People just need to be very, very careful.
In Columbus, the fire department led this dramatic rescue of 2 women stranded underneath a bridge by floodwaters.
The National Weather Service has issued alerts for more than a third of the country, from tornado watches in Alabama to flood watches in New Jersey. Meantime, we are 5 days away from the solar eclipse on Monday, and if you plan on watching it, it's important to have the right eye protection. Our Michigan Capitol correspondent Sophia Murphy has more on how to make sure your eclipse glasses aren't a counterfeit.
On Monday, parts of the Midwest will get a front row seat to the first total solar eclipse since 2017. In the UP, most areas can view the eclipse at around 80% magnitude. But even with the majority of the sun covered, if you plan on viewing, you should make sure to have eclipse glasses to protect your vision.
And there's so much light that comes out of that even if 99% of the sun is covered, there's enough light that can harm your eyes and cause permanent damage.
Shannon Schmull, the director of Michigan State University's Abrams Planetarium, says counterfeit glasses are cause for concern. She explained that the lenses of eclipse glasses shouldn't look like regular sunglasses. Real ones will be almost 1,000 times darker.
Real eclipse glasses should block all light but the sun. You'll want to check for an ISO certification and make sure there are no scratches or holes before using them.
Even if you don't have eclipse glasses, there are other safe ways to view what's going on through things like indirect viewers.
Schmull says indirect viewers can be built with just a cereal box, tinfoil, and a piece of printer paper.
But you can sort of cut cut out 2 holes and put on a piece of foil and poke a tiny hole in it with a pin and a white piece of paper on the back for a good projection spot. And then you sort of point this end up at the sun behind you and you'll be able to see an image projected.
Less than 1 minute of looking directly at the sun can cause irreversible damage. Monday's eclipse is expected to last around 2.5 hours. Even with glasses, viewers should only look for a few seconds every minute to be safe. For Michigan's capital, Sophia Murphy, WZMQ 19 News.
WZMQ 19 will have a special live broadcast next Monday starting at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, just minutes before the eclipse passes through. Of course, in the UP, we're in that like 75 to 85% range, but during that broadcast, we'll be checking out NMU's eclipse viewing party and sharing some of the science behind the eclipse as well. Again, that is next Monday, April 8th, right here on 19 News. A small amphibious species that makes its appearance in the spring in Marquette is out for its early migration period. Our Mitchell Reif spoke with the team running an observational study to learn more about why the blue-spotted salamander migration has become so popular.
Here in these North Woods, these natural spectacles have become quite a cherished tradition. It's the annual migration of the blue-spotted salamanders. Northern Michigan University's biology department runs a Team Sally program with a group of students focused on collecting and studying salamander data.
They're definitely doing population level work where they're trying to understand when the salamanders migrate, what cues are causing them to migrate.
The program and temporary closing of Presque Isle started in 2020. During a 2-week period in the spring, students go out at night to observe and count the hundreds of salamanders migrating. With each passing year, undergraduate team lead Anna Hill says the population has only grown.
Our population on Presque is just kind of unique because they're very separated from other populations, so there's not a lot of mingling.
Due to inconsistent cold temperatures this season, the team's new point of curiosity is to whether or not the lack of snow dried up the soil that salamanders call home. And because most salamanders are fossorial amphibians, they rely on burrowing underground.
Most of its life, it's living underground. It's kind of insulated from that weather, but then once a year, it comes out of the ground and it walks across the surface to these vernal ponds and other bodies of water where it can reproduce.
This year, the team has around 80 students, all focused on the safe travel of these small creatures, studying more outside elements that might impact the species' migration or burrowing routines.
I'm doing work on the effects of light stimuli on them, so basically kind of seeing what ecotourism, if that's affecting them, but I'm in the pretty early stages of that research.
NMU's study and the migration period go until roughly May 15th. Mitchell Reif, WZMQ 19 News, Marquette.
Sports is on the way, and Mike, some UP collegiate hockey players are getting some recognition.
Yes, Sarah, Isaac Gordon, the CCHA Rookie of the Month once again, and a Lower Michigan native who will be playing in the minors not too far from his home. That plus all-state basketball players when we return.
Pictionary here on WZMQ TV 19.
Wait a second. You're saying I'm not invincible? So you can see me right now?
New tonight on CBS.
Yes. Oh, hi. I suppose you're wondering what an A-list celebrity like me is doing in a place like this. You must know, I'm saving the world. Oh, hi, Beth. Yep, saving the world again. Did you know that 40% of all the food produced in the United States is thrown away? That means everything that went into that food, the pesticides, the water, the land, was all for nothing. Just look at this perfectly good food thrown in the trash. The pizza with extra Cheerios, these goldfish and Band-Aid tacos. And just look at this perfect trash burger. This pasta dog looks delicious.
You don't have to dumpster dive like Ed Begley Jr. to save the planet. Fight food waste by shopping smart and using what you buy before it gets trashed.
That's way better. Ooh, arugula.
Do your part and find out other world-saving tips at betterthaned.org.
Direct.
Don't you ever look up at the sky and roll your eyes. You hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Realistic.
I will maybe have a tendency to
spend too much and won't be able to pay your rent. That's the problem.
He holds the line.
I resent it, and I resent you for doing it.
Powerful.
I don't know where you've been, but you're going to respect this courtroom. I'm going to throw you out real quick.
Mathis Court is in session.
Weekdays on WZMQ CBS. Saturday night at 6 on MeTV 19.1.
Good evening, everyone. Michigan Tech senior defenseman Jed Pietila has signed a professional contract with the Toledo Walleye in the ECHL. The Walleye are affiliated with the NHL's Detroit Red Wings and the American Hockey League's Grand Rapids Griffins. Pietila appeared in 75 games for the Huskies and tallied 30 points with 3 goals and 27 assists. He also had a plus 18 in his career with 52 penalty minutes. He scored against Lake Superior State, Minnesota State, and Bowling Green. Pietila is a native of Howell, Michigan. As a junior, he received the team's Elof Seeger Memorial Award as the most improved player. He's also a CCHA All-Academic team member. The Walleye are doing quite well, second in the Western Conference, a 43-14-4 record, and they've won 9 straight games. Former Michigan Tech captain Trenton Bliss is second on the team in scoring with 63 points. Bliss and Pietila were Tech teammates during the 2020-21 and 2021-22 seasons. By the way, Pat Mickish, former Tech hockey player and Sports Hall of Famer, is head coach of the Walleye. Meanwhile, 11 NMU hockey players have entered the transfer portal. It was announced today that forward Mikey Colella has signed with the Canisius Golden Griffins of the Atlantic Hockey Association. Colella had 7 goals and 5 assists for 12 points for NMU. Also, CCHA second-team defenseman Josh Zinger has entered the transfer portal. He had 3 goals and 17 assists for the Wildcats. Michigan Tech has 4 players in the portal, including forwards Rydland Mosley, Cash Rasmussen, and Austin Swanker. Lake Superior State has 3, including goalie Ethan Langenegger. Turning to Major League Baseball, the Minnesota Twins in Milwaukee tonight, taking on the Brewers. And who's in the house but Bob Uecker? His 54th home opener for baseball this season. Bottom of the second, Jackson Churios single to right field will play Hoskins, giving the Brewers a 1-0 lead. Bottom of the third, Christian Yelich. You don't get the best angle of this, but you can see the fans cheering, so you know that one went over the fence for a home run. And the Brewers would take a 2-0 lead. And we're not done in the bottom of the third. Bryce Terang will get a pitch to his liking and swat it the opposite way down the left field line. And a run will score on the play, and the Brewers have a 3-0 advantage. Minnesota scored 2 runs on sacrifice flies. Milwaukee had good defense after that. Oliver Dunn with the outstanding catch there, and the Brewers hang on to win 3-2. Elvis Peguero gets the victory on the mound. Meanwhile, since the Tigers were rained out against the Mets, let's check on the Rockies and the Cubs, and that's Seiya Suzuki over the center field fence for a home run and a 2-0 lead for the Cubs over Colorado. Bottom of the third, Christopher Morel likes that one to left field, and that makes it a 3-0 lead for the Cubs. And the Cubs kept right on scoring tonight. They get the victory by the count of 12-2. Associated Press continues its list of All-State girls basketball players today in Division III. We have a first-teamer, Lily Johnson of Gladstone, and 2 in the honorable mention list. That would be Lauren Zawada of Bark River Harris and Danica Shamian of West Iron County. In Division IV, as we mentioned earlier, first team for state champion Jenna Mackey of Ishpeming, Emily Jokala of Lakeland Hubble, also a first teamer. Ishpeming's Janessa Eagle is a second team member, and Emma Bessinen of Ewan Trail Creek and McKenna Hendricks in America received honorable mention. Congratulations to all, and we will be right back.
Who will be there when there are voices that need to be heard? Who will be there when amazing rises up, or a need for a warning comes falling down? Who will be our ears and our eyes? Will you? Start a career in the broadcasting industry. There's a whole world of opportunities waiting for you, whether it's on air as an anchor or reporter, or behind the scenes as a producer, engineer, sales rep, or more. Our Our close-knit team brings the truth to light, elevates voices, responds in times of need, encourages diversity, and builds community. Come be there as history unfolds to deliver the news, the information, and the entertainment that Michigan needs. Bring your talents and creativity to the broadcasting industry. Be there. Go to BeThereMichigan.com to get started.
This is home, it's where we get along. This is home, and together we're strong. Whoa, this is home. This is home, it's our town, it's our song. This is home, this is where we belong. This is home. Yeah. This is home.
At that, the snowflakes are starting to fly here in Marquette. We've got a current temp of 32 degrees. We'll drop down a little bit this evening into that 25 to 35 degree range. Marquette's low around 33, so expect some slick conditions tomorrow. And I did mention we've got gusty winds this evening into our Wednesday morning. Look at that, 50 miles an hour here in Marquette, close to 37 there for Munising, but Alger County definitely seeing a lot more windy activity even into our Thursday. And yes, we are likely getting snow for a while here into Wednesday, even Thursday morning here in Marquette, but it's going to eventually slow down, Sarah, mid-morning on that Thursday, and we'll be back to that regular schedule of weird spring weather. We've got sunshine on the way on Friday, but tomorrow it's going to be blustery and snowy. Stay safe.
Listen, Air, my winter tires are finally getting some use after all these months. Finally tonight, 2 Southern UP Realty businesses are joining forces. Stevens Real Estate is merging with Wild Rivers Realty. The acquisition blends 2 companies with long-standing presence in their communities. Stevens expands into Iron Mountain, Iron River, and Florence, Wisconsin, and is also celebrating its 45th anniversary this year.
Thank both the ladies that are coming along that have helped so much in the transition, the brokers and owners from Wild Rivers that are coming along in the transition, as well as the staff here who have been so helpful.
The new branch offices are located on Cedar Avenue in Iron River and Central Avenue in Florence, Wisconsin. And that will pretty much do it for us for tonight. Remember to take it easy on the roads tomorrow. We have school closures, power outage, links, and more on our website, WZMQ19.com. And we will see you right back here tomorrow at 6/5 Central.
WZMQ TV 19, continuing to stand with the people of Ukraine.
Shop our huge selection of Amish-crafted dining room sets at Kirkish Furniture in Houghton. Browse our large in-stock collection and customize with a special order. With 1-year no-interest financing available, plus free delivery. Shop Kirkish Furniture today.
As in all human conflict, adults fight and children suffer.